Welcome to Real Life on the Homestead in Ontario, and I'm Marie. And it is a rare day that you will see me walking around with a mask. But today, we're working with horseradish. So please stay with me so we can see how we make nice horseradish dressing to keep in the fridge. It's fermented, so it will last for a long time. And while we're at it, I think I'll bottle up my fire cider vinegar. It's gonna be a fun day. So friends, I'm not kidding. When working with horseradish, it will clear your sinuses. It will make your eyes water all to hell. So really, this is a must. Safety glasses. It protects your eyes. It will still burn even around the eyes, but this will protect you. And you don't want to inhale these fumes. So a mask is highly recommended, but definitely the goggles. When I open up my food processor, I actually go outside and do it. What you should do is ventilate your room really well. Have your range hood fan going. Open a window if you can. It's winter for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the door, open the top of my food processor there. And it will still irritate me. You don't need gloves though, because horseradish will not burn your hands. It's just as you inhale it and your eyes. If you think a hard onion makes you cry, horseradish will make you sob for days. So let's get going. What I've done is I have some horseradish here that I got from one of my homesteading neighbors because my horseradish is still on the thinner side. So I got some good pieces from them. And we're just going to peel these. And let me get the camera in so you could see close up to how I do this. Horseradish is not hard to peel. As you can see, it peels very nicely. However, when you get to the little rough spots, it gets difficult. And I am going to put on my glasses because I could already feel a little bit of irritation. I don't wear the mask except when I'm blending them. I think I'm okay until that point. But if you've never worked with horseradish before, you might want to wear the mask the entire time. I just think it'll be a little bit hard for you to hear me as we're recording if I have that mask on. I hate friggin' masks. See, it's a little bit messy to peel. So I do the peeler and then I just go with a paring knife and clean up. Oh, geez. But I don't want to waste a lot. And then I'm just going to go here, cut off the tip. The beautiful thing is I have planted some in the garden, and this is the first year, like I said, still very, I guess thin. So I'm going to let it get stronger. But once it's established, you cannot get rid of that sucker, which is exactly what I want. Because I find that buying it in the grocery store, number one, I don't really know how it's grown. And I know that there's no pesticides anywhere near this homestead. And it's also pretty expensive. And if you look at prepared horseradish in a grocery store, it has quite a few things added that are not needed. So here we are. I've just peeled it, cut off the little tips, and oh, I am starting to already get my eyes watered, and I have the glasses on. But I'm just going to cut this up. Should have used my bigger knife rather than the paring knife for cutting. I've got a pound here, and this recipe is for a pound. I'm going to cut this up a little bit smaller because it is going into the food processor. And any little bit of help we can give it never hurt. And you can do this by grating it. You better grate it outside. I find the food processor is the way to go. It's one of those times that I say it's almost a must, but you can just grate these. I'm sure in olden days they didn't have the food processors and they did it. Why use horseradish? It's one of those medicinal plants that will clear up a cold within a few days, or not even. I use my apple cider vinegar to make my horseradish because I want it to ferment, and fermenting it just keeps it longer. I take a scoop of that, add it to some sour cream, and suddenly I have a horseradish cream. But here you go. This is the root that is going to go into the food processor. And I am going to mince this up, putting it in the food processor. And very simply, I'm just going to add a 1/4 cup of water and a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. I use my own. Here's mine, and it's got the mother in the bottom. You could see that. And I will keep pulsing this, scraping down the sides, and I don't measure exact, as you always know. That's how I work. Get some water. That's just gonna get it going. I pulse this, scrape down the sides, pulse it again, scrape down the sides, pulse it again, scrape down the sides, until I have a nice paste. And then as I'm going, I also keep adding apple cider vinegar or water if I need some more. Because I am going to put on my mask, I'm not going to be recording because I don't want to try to breathe as I'm speaking. But I will show you when this is done. And like I said, make sure that you open the top of your food processor in a well-ventilated area or outside. I'm not kidding. This stuff, I can barely breathe right now. Heidi, you don't want to sniff that. My eyes are burning just doing this outside, but you see it's a little dry, so I will add a bit more vinegar to this. Oh, it's coming right up into my eyes and I have the goggles on. Peels are going into the compost, and I hope that actually keeps the critters away and out of the way with that one. Well, even though I've protected my face and my eyes, I'm still clearing up my sinuses, let's put it that way. And I've taken the food processor outside and opened the top. And I don't know what the chemical reaction is, but obviously there's something. Just noticed that my vinegar had no top on it. I don't know what the chemical reaction is, but I find that if you leave the horseradish just sitting a little bit and then you add your salt, it's much hotter. I don't know, I've heard that somewhere once and I've always done it, and I'm going to continue to do that because the whole idea is you want it nice and strong. So while that's just settling down a little bit, this is my fire cider. And this, if I'm getting a little tickle in the throat, you know, the cold coming on feeling, you take a teaspoon of this, morning, night, the next morning again, and usually I don't end up with that cold. So it is something that I keep on hand every year. I make it fresh. And I made this 6 weeks ago. Yeah, 6 weeks ago, because I did have it labeled for when it was ready to strain. And this is made with apple cider. It's got peppers, it's got some herbs, onions, citrus. Anyway, I will link in the description box exactly how I made this, because I did do a video when I was doing it. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bottle it up, strain it and bottle it up. So I'll do that while I'm waiting for our horseradish to settle down just a little. That one was just not big enough to hold all the pieces, and I do want to strain it really well. I want to make sure we get as much as possible out of here. I normally use a wide mouth jar for this, but I had all mine in use, so I just used what I had. And that's what you should normally do. Use what you have. Don't stress over little things. But it is coming out. It's just taking its time. Come on, friends, get out. I need to clean this jar to use it again. And you can see I have rosemary in here, I have hot peppers, I have red onions, my horseradish, my ginger, all those beautiful things. I want to press down. I'm going to use a spoon. I think I have strained this really well though, because I don't see much coming out. And this will go into the compost as well. More dishes. Seriously, I could not have planned this any better. Perfect. Got 2 little bottles. Now you don't need to refrigerate this, but you can. And I will keep one bottle that I'm not using in our spare fridge, and the other one I'll just keep in my pantry here, so that when I get that tickle, I'll deal with it right away. Now that is really strong. That is going to be just beautiful. What I'm going to do is transfer it from my food processor to the bowl so I can mix in my salt, but I could feel the tickle, so I am going to get that mask on. I seriously don't know how people walk around with these on. Well, I had this going under the exhaust fan because it was just way too potent. Now that we have our, look at that, isn't that beautiful? Look at that, just gorgeous. Oh, it's just coming out at me, holy smokes. I'm going to add some salt first of all, and I will put in the description box the proper amounts. And I'm gonna, whoa, do I ever feel it? Now I do like my horseradish a little bit more with a quantity of liquid. I hope you can hear me through this mask. I'm going to add a little bit more apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to place it into my jars. I am just bawling right now. And as I put it in my jars, I'm going to poke down to take any air bubbles out. Not that you have to. This will ferment. So I'm going to leave it out for 2 days before refrigerating it. If you want, you can refrigerate right away, and you can also freeze this. So if you're not going to use it all, and you're not going to use it within, let's say, a month, freeze it, and then you'll have it when you need it. Holy shit, is this ever hard on the eyes. So what I do is I use a plastic lid so that it doesn't corrode. But if you do not have a plastic lid, just use your regular lid with a piece of parchment, and that way it just creates a barrier so that it will not corrode. So this one here, since it was a partial jar, is going to go into the fridge. I'm going to leave it out a couple of days. I'm actually going to leave a little bit of space for air because it is a ferment. It will gas up. And after a couple of days, I'll tighten it up and put it in the fridge. And this one is going to be the one we use now. And now that let me move this out of the way. I'm not kidding. It is hard on the eyes and the nose, but it's completely worth the effort of making it at home. There's no preservatives. Oh my goodness, I gotta blow my nose. Okay, now, it is completely worth making this for yourself. Horseradish has a lot of wonderful medicinal properties. It's an antibacterial, antifungal. When you have something going through your system and you have some horseradish, it will help clear it out. It's got a lot of vitamins and stuff. You can do that research on your own. I'm not a medicinal expert or medicinal herb expert, but it's also super tasty. So you get that on some roast beef, brisket. It's that time of year. All my Jewish friends celebrating Hanukkah, make sure you make your own horseradish instead of getting that bottled stuff. And like I said, add it to a little bit of sour cream and you have a beautiful horseradish cream that you can put on a baked potato. I just think it's one of those things that is worth making your own. When you make it, yeah, it's a chore. You breathe hard, your eyes water, but you do it once. You make enough that it'll last you for the year and you're good. So I hope you've enjoyed our horseradish tutorial. If you have, please like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so that we can share our homesteading techniques with you. Until next time, go out, live your best life, and have a great day.